Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. In this week's video, I'm actually taking advantage of the fact that there is not construction going on next door today, and I'm going to talk to you all about lashes. I received a ton of direct messages and comments asking about false lashes, the brands that I like, the types that I like to keep in my kit, what tools I like to use, what glue. So I'm going to cover off all of that for you guys today in this video. I wanted to cover this off today so that in future videos when you see me apply lashes on my clients and models, you kind of have an understanding of what I'm doing and you won't feel like you're missing out or you need more information. So I'm going to cover everything about false lashes that I can share with you in today's video. I'm going to start with some of the tools that I like to use when I'm applying false lashes. Some makeup artists just like to use their fingers, and oftentimes I will just use my fingers as well, but there are some tools that you want to keep in your kit that will be helpful. The first thing, of course, is a pair of scissors. You need to always have a pair of stainless steel scissors in your kit. These are really important for trimming the length of the false lash. If you find that your lashes are too long, you can take off some of the length that way. Really essential part of your kit and just a good thing to have around. Another important tool that you want to have in your kit for false lash application are eyelash curlers. Me personally, if I find that my client's lashes are naturally curly, I don't actually like to curl the lashes before gluing on a false lash. I find it makes the lashes harder to apply. So personally for me, I'm not a huge fan of curling lashes before false lash application unless your client's lashes are really straight or downturned. So the eyelash curlers that I do have in my kit, they're not all great, but because I have clients that prefer to curl their own lashes with the traditional eyelash curler, this is the Uemura one, I do keep this in my kit for clients that want to curl their own lashes. I don't find that this fits a lot of the different eye shapes, but I keep it anyway because some people do prefer it. Another lash curler that I like to have, which I find much easier to use and it suits more eye shapes, this is the Uemura. This is just the half size one. So this is really easy to use. You can get right into the base of the lash and the outer corner. And sometimes you'll find when you apply lashes, to give them a little bit more lift, you may want to gently curl the false lash and the natural lash together just to help with that upward lift and to get your client's eyes a little bit more open. But of course, if you are curling lashes, once you've glued false lashes on them, you want to make sure the glue is completely dry before you do this. This little guy is actually a new addition to my kit. I'm hoping you can see the shape of it. It's a tiny little lash curler. I can't remember the brand right now, but I will link to it in the description box. I have been loving this eyelash curler. It's so tiny. It's not as scary as using a full eyelash curler on your client, and I find it does a really great job of curling really difficult straight lashes, and it works really well if you need to curl a strip of lashes, just the outer corner, again to give that lift. The tiny eyelash curler like this is a really great addition to your kit. Another couple tools that are really helpful when you're doing false lash application, a pair of tweezers of course, and this is the Velour Too Easy Lash Applicator. You guys have seen me talk a lot about this on social media. This tool is pretty much a game changer for anybody who's applying false lashes. The regular tweezer is great to have. It's great for pulling lashes off the tray, especially the individual ones, and some people just like to use it because you can get a really firm grip on the lash and you can kind of press it right into the lash line. The Velour Too Easy Lash Applicator is nice. It's a longer tool, so you're not right up in your client's face. You can be a little bit further. It's a little bit more comfortable for them. The little tweezers on the end are slightly rounded, and this is so helpful when you're applying lashes on your client. You can press the false lash right up against your client's lash line, so that makes for a really flawless application. The other end has a tiny little comb on it, so you can brush the natural lash and the false lash together. So this tool is really handy, and I think you've already seen me use it in a couple videos. I always have this with me now. It is an essential part of my kit. Also, if you struggle with putting lashes on yourself like me, this is a really helpful tool. Again, it just allows you to be able to look down into a mirror, and it allows you to kind of pop that lash in, and it gives you more control of where the lash is versus the tweezer. The tweezer part of this guy is a little bit longer, so it just does really help to give you more control of where the lash is going. The next thing we have to get into is lash glue. Now, lash glue is so important. The type of glue that you use is really important, and you want to make sure that you have a variety of different lash glues because some of the lash glues are not going to be great on all your clients. I exclusively use duo lash glue. These are all duo lash glue, so I'm going to run through what lash glue I like to have and why. So the first glue I have is just the standard duo clear lash glue. Everybody knows this one. This is just the glue that goes on white and dries clear. I like to use this lash glue when I'm applying individual lashes, or if I'm applying a strip lash that is really fine or a really natural lash. I would not recommend using this lash glue on people that have very deep or dark skin. It does become visible and you can kind of see it against the lash line, but for everybody else, this is a great glue to use. Next, of course, is the Duo Dark Lash Glue. This is the lash glue that dries black. So this would be a better choice of glue to use on somebody that has deeper skin or really dark lashes. It's also a great lash glue to use if you you are working on a smoky eye and you just need that little bit of extra density and darkness right on the lash line. If you put the Duo, the regular clear lash glue on top of a smoky eye, you're gonna be able to see it, and sometimes it has like that gray or yellow cast on the eye, so try to avoid that. The next two are ones that I love, and I pretty much use these all the time now. This is the Duo brush on adhesive. This one is the latex free. You definitely want to have this in your kit if you have somebody that has a latex allergy. If you are going to be applying lashes on your clients or a model or anyone, make sure you ask them first if they have a latex allergy. Regardless of that, make sure you have a latex free option in your kit. Really, really important thing. Some people have terrible reactions to it. As you guys can see, it's a tiny brush applicator. I love the brush applicator. You can brush it right on the strip lash. It's a really quick application. It's less messy than using a blob of glue from the tubes. So try and get familiar and get comfortable with using a brush. I find for me, it's a great way to save time. The next is the brush on lash adhesive. This is the dark one. So this one dries black, similar to the one in the tube. A really neat application with the brush. You can use this with your individual lashes, with your strip lashes. Try to use this if you have someone with deeper skin or if you're gluing on a lash over a darker makeup look or a smoky eye or a cat eye. So this is now, I think, between this and the latex free, my favorite two lash glues right now. Now I want to talk about the different types of lashes and the styles that I like to keep in my kit. And I'm going to start with the individual. So these are right now all of the individual lashes that I am carrying in my kit. The first one I'm going to show you is just the regular Ardell. These are the knot free flares, the short black. This is just a single lash. It's got a few hairs on it. These you have to have in your kit. They're great to use on somebody that wants a really natural lash look. If you have somebody that has bare spots in their lash, if you're working on a model or an actor that needs some of their lashes filled in very lightly, you want to make sure to carry a single individual lash in a short and medium length. On some people that have very fair lashes or very light lashes, the knot, if you don't fill it in with a darker glue or a little bit of darker powder, it does show up on the lash line. These knot free ones are a little bit flatter, so you can pop them right onto the top of the lash line and you won't see that little black little dot that is holding the lash together. So these ones are great to have. These ones are, again, a short length, so you probably want to do these ones in a short and medium length. And these ones are the double flares, and these guys are just the regular knot free tapered. So having a knot free option with an individual lash is a really good thing to have in your kit, because I'm sure you will notice those little black dots sometimes, especially if you're doing a really natural makeup look or if you're doing somebody that maybe doesn't even have any eyeshadow on. I think you'll have better luck with the knot free individual lashes sometimes. Again, it depends on your client's natural lash line, but it's good to have the option of the two. And going back to just the individual lashes as a whole, make sure you do have a medium length and a short length. There's going to be some clients that want next to nothing, and it's just nice to almost fill in their lash line or the outer corner of their eyes with a couple individuals. If you can create that nice tapered look with a medium and a short lash, it's just going to make it look more natural, and your client, I think, will be happier with something like that. So always give yourself the choice of having a short and medium length in your kit. You will also run into clients that have very long lashes. They might not want extra length, but they may want some extra density and volume at the base of the lash. So that's why I suggest having both a short and medium length. Now we're getting into my favorite lashes to work with. These are the Lash Trios. I have been loving these. I've been using these on so many of my clients for bridal. I've been using these for some beauty shoots that I've done. I have stacked them one on top of the other. I've created like a tapered look with them. They're so easy to use. They're very comfortable to apply, and I would recommend applying these if you do have a client that is nervous about wearing false lashes, but they definitely do want that false lash look. They're very comfortable to wear, and even for me personally, I love to wear the Lash Trios. I find them very fast to apply, and there's less room for making an error if you are using an individual lash. If you are someone out there that struggles with applying a strip lash on your clients, you may want to look into investing in the Lash Trios. They're very easy to plug into the lash line, and they are faster than using just the regular individual lashes. With the Lash Trios, make sure that you do get these in a short and medium length. When you are sticking them on your clients, you don't want to have one length all across the length of the lid. You want to taper it closer to the inner corner and have it flare out on the end. So make sure you get both the short and medium, which is the ones that I have here. I have both the knotted ones, which has the tiny little ball at the end, and then I also have the knot free. So good to have both options, and pay attention to which one you're buying. For me, the ones with the little knot is a little bit visible, so I think I'd have to say my favorite one is just the knot free. This is short and I do carry it in medium, so really great addition to your kit. So good for bridal, so good for your mature clients. These are the ones that I used on my mom last week. They're very comfortable to wear, so definitely definitely invest in these for your kit. Another quick tip when you are using the lash trios, you will find it might look a little bit unnatural if you go from a medium to a short, or you may find that your client has very short lashes. So what you can do is do the knot-free trios just on the outer corner. Then you can take the knot-free individuals and just pop them into the inner corner of the eye. That will give you a more natural looking lash, and it will fill in that sort of gap between the transition of the false lash and your client's natural lash. You want to experiment with mixing the individual lashes and the lash trios as well, so give those all a shot. Now we're gonna move on to some of the full strip lashes. The brands that I like to keep in my kit are generally the Kiss, which is kind of predominantly what I'm using right now, and the Ardell lashes. There's so many great styles, there's so many different styles. I kind of change it up every now and again. Sometimes I'll purchase more Kiss lashes, sometimes I'll purchase some of the Ardell. You're not gonna be able to afford to put a luxury lash on every client. With these brands specifically, I find they are very affordable to add to your kit. So I'll show you some of my favorite styles that I like to keep, and you can figure out what's easy for you to purchase and what brands are readily available to you. Regardless of what brand you are choosing to put in your kit, what brand you can purchase that's easily accessible for you, you want to make sure you have a variety of styles, and you want to make sure that you have a variety of lash densities. So you want something natural, you want something that's sort of in the middle, and then you do want to have something that's more dramatic in your kit. And you also want to have a combination of round lashes and flared lashes. You're gonna have different clients that will prefer round or prefer flared or want something more dramatic or a cat eye, so make sure you have that variety in your kit regardless of what brand you're going with. This is the Kiss in number 3. It's very similar to the Ardell 110s. If you are working with a client that wants something that almost replicates a natural lash line, the Kiss number 3 or the Ardell 110 is probably gonna be the lash for you. This is a great lash for bridal. This is a great lash for your clients that don't really want to commit or experiment with a thicker lash, but they do want something that's very natural. This is a great grandma lash. This is a great lash for your more mature clients. Very natural, just to give a little bit of volume, a little bit of darkness on that lash line, but nothing too dramatic. So the Kiss number 3, or if you're buying Ardell, the Ardell 110. The other thing that I forgot to mention with these, they are a rounded shape. So the Ardell 110, the Kiss number 3, both are a rounded lash shape. To somebody that does not wear lashes or does not have a lot of experience wearing false lashes, usually a rounded shape will appear more natural to them because they won't have that winged out edge. So try to start, especially if you have a client that's hesitant with lashes, try to start with a bit of a rounded lash. If you're using a strip lash, you'll find, I think, that they'll be happier if they're still unsure about wearing lashes. I also mentioned that you want to have sort of an in-between lash style, one that's heavier than the most natural one in your kit, but not as dramatic as some of the fuller lash styles. The one I've been loving for that are these Kiss lashes. They're called Shy. These lashes have a very slight flare on the edge. They're a little bit more wispy and more dense than the number 3 and the Ardell 110. So I have been loving this lash style as sort of that in-between lash. And usually with these, you can see I always buy them in multi-pack. It just makes more sense and it's a little bit more affordable for you. These ones are the Kiss lashes in number 11. They're very similar to the Ardell Demi Wispies if there's people out there watching that prefer Ardell products. This right now is one of my favorite ones. I love the Ardell Wispies and the Demi Wispies as well. Right now, these are the ones I have on my kit because I was able to find them really close to my house at Walmart, so I have been using the Kiss lashes as a result of that. So these number 11 are a wispy flared style. This reads really well on camera for bridal, for personal clients who want that nice dense lash line, that like that flared lash. I use these lashes a ton for bridal, and they're just a good lash to have in your kit. So try to find something that is a little bit fuller, that does have that nice flared style, and add that to your kit if you don't have it already. You also will have those clients that want that Instagram, YouTube-y, really full, thick lash. For me personally, a lot of my clients don't ask for that, so if I do need that, usually what makes more sense to me is to just have a couple individual packages of lashes that are more dramatic and thicker and fuller. So as you're shopping around, you may want to add a couple of those to your kit, but totally up to you. Another lash style that you might want to take a look at adding to your kit are these ones here. So this is the Kiss, it's number KPE12. There's one that's similar in a multi-pack as well, and I'll find it and add it to the description box below. So if you can see on camera, these ones are really short and dense. They look kind of weird in the package, but when you put them on your clients, they actually look amazing. This lash style, again, is another rounded style. It's a shorter lash. It's very dense at the lash line. So give this a shot, buy a couple and experiment with them. As I've used them a little bit more on my clients, I've actually been liking them. And on my mature clients, I have been loving it, especially for those clients that do want a little bit more of a dramatic look, but maybe aren't comfortable with wearing the super long flared flared out lashes, give something like these a try. Another important type of lash to have in your kit is a luxury lash. So you can have a mink lash in your kit. If you have clients that are concerned with using the mink lash, you can also get a silk lash in your kit. Having a luxury lash is really important. It's great for higher profile clients. It's great to use on celebrities. You might want to use them on your bridal clients as well. I like to have in my kit, of course, the Velour lashes. I really, really like this brand. I have worked with this brand for a really long time. I have, I think, applied every lash style multiple times. The Velour is great. You can get the silk lashes at Sephora. You can buy the mink lashes online. They're really easy to order. They have every style, every length. They have natural, they have full, they have that crazy like Instagram, YouTube lashes if you want. So find a company that works for you if it's not Velour, that carries really beautiful silk and mink lashes. I would recommend purchasing a natural, medium, and a really dramatic style in both a silk and a mink lash to offer up to your clients. Also remember that when you are adding luxury lashes to your kit, do not go crazy. Do not buy 10 styles of lashes. They can run you anywhere from $20 to $40. So you want to be smart about your investment and you don't want to blow your entire earnings on 3 pairs of lashes. So be smart about the styles that you're picking, but keep them in your kit in case you have a high profile client, if you have a celebrity, maybe you want to offer this up as something to your bridal clients as well. Totally up to you, but just beware of the amount that you're spending and the amount that you're investing on this type of thing. Choose the right time to use this type of thing, but definitely do add a luxury lash into your kit. They come in very handy and the look is really, really beautiful. So those are just some of the styles of lashes that I keep in my kit. Whatever brand you're going with, make sure that you can buy them in a value pack so it makes more sense financially for you, and make sure you have both individual lashes, the trios, and different styles and densities of a strip lash. That way you will be covered. You can't stick the same lash on every person. You're gonna have people with different eye shapes. You're gonna have clients that have different needs, and you also have to keep in mind how people perceive lashes on themselves. Like, I find that people find a rounded lash a little bit more natural, and for those clients that really like a fuller lash, usually a lash that's winged out is going to make them happier than a finer rounded lash. So keep those things in mind. I also want to share some tips and tricks that I have for you in terms of applying false lashes. I know when you are first starting out, applying lashes is one of the scariest things. They can go all over the place. The glue can mess up your makeup. So I want to give you just a couple quick tips and tricks that I find helpful when you're working with lashes. One of the most important things when you're applying lashes, of course, is the glue. When you are applying lashes on your client, the glue cannot be too wet. You do need to give it a couple seconds on the lash to make sure the glue can dry and it becomes tacky before you apply it. This is one of the best tips I can share with you. A lot of you who are struggling with lash application often just don't give that glue enough time to dry. For me, sometimes it's 45 seconds, sometimes it's a minute. Pay attention to how the glue looks on the lash. With the clear lash adhesive, you'll see the glue, once it starts drying, will turn a little bit yellowy. If you're using that darker lash glue, when it comes out of the tube, it's a little bit gray. As it dries, it gets darker. So pay attention to what the glue is looking like. You may want to put a dot on your hand and watch it. You may want to just look at it on the strip, but give it time to get really tacky before you apply that lash on your client. Another tip that's really important before you start even putting the lash on your client is how you apply glue on the band. It is really important to have the right amount of glue on the lash band. If you are somebody that is having globs of lash glue, if you're finding bubbles in your lash glue on the band, you're applying too much glue. If the glue is running over onto the front of the lash, that is too much glue. So you do want a nice, fine, even application of lash glue, which is why I love using the lash glue with the little brush applicator. Another great tip, especially when you're working with the lash bands, and I'm hoping you can see this, make sure you add a little bit of glue just on the end of the lash band. It is really important. It helps secure that inner and outer corner. As you know, if you struggle with lashes, normally that inner corner peels up or that outer corner peels up. Add a tiny bit more glue on the ends of your lash, let it get tacky, and then apply it. You will find that things are a lot easier. There are so many of you that have asked me how to get faster at lash application. All it really takes is practice. The more lashes you apply, the faster you will get. One trick that I love to use, once I'm about 90% through my eye makeup application, I will measure the lash and trim it. And this really only works for the strip lash. I will apply the glue to the strip lash, and then I will set the lashes down on my stainless steel palette, and I'll start to let the glue on the strip lash dry as I'm just fine tuning the eye makeup look. Once I'm done, I can just grab the lash with the tweezer or my Velour 2 Easy Lash applicator and pop those strip lashes in. I've given it time to dry. I've not lost any time waiting for the lash glue to dry, so I'm not standing there kind of blowing on the lash to get the glue to dry faster. So that is a trick that I've used that saves me a lot of time when I'm doing my lash application. As I mentioned, this really only works for the strip lash. You can apply the glue on the lash and you can set them back down on the lash tray. You can set them back down on the stainless steel palette. And once you practice this a couple times, you'll find the right way to put the lash down on the tray or whatever you're using so that glue doesn't get all over it. And it also depends on the style. So give that a shot and experiment with applying the lash glue on the lash band and then setting the lashes down, fine-tuning your eye makeup look, and then giving yourself enough time to finish your makeup look and for the lash glue to get tacky. As far as getting glue on the lashes and where to put the glue and what technique I like to use, a lot of you asked me last week why I work off the back of my hand. For me, it's just a faster, more comfortable way. I'll put a little drop of glue on my hand, I'll let it dry, and then I'll take my individual lash or my strip lash and work off the back of my hand. There are some people that like to put glue on the tray and work off the tray because it's a little bit less messy. It's whatever is easier for you. For me, I like to work off the back of my hand because I don't have to work off a tray and hold something else in my hand when I'm working. If I'm using something like the lash applicator, I can pull the lash off, get it on, and then I can use my other hand to secure the lash, and I'm not holding a tray with glue on it in this hand. So for me, it's a little bit more freeing to just work off the back of my hand. Flows a little bit easier for me, and I don't have to worry about holding too many things. If you go with what's comfortable for you, things will flow a little bit easier. You won't be dropping anything, and you'll be faster as a result. It is also important to pay attention to how you are treating the lash and removing it from the lash tray. If you pull it off with your fingers, sometimes the finer, more delicate lash bands are going to bend and they're going to become misshapen, and then it's going to be harder for you to get the lash on. So just pay attention to how you're pulling lashes off the tray. For the strip lash, I do like to use a tweezer and pull from the outer corner of the lash. It keeps everything intact, and then you don't have any individual hairs on the lash band that are going rogue or sticking out. When I'm working with the individual lashes, I do like to use a tweezer, and I make sure to pull the lash from the tray right at the base of the lash. Again, you don't want to yank on any of the individual hairs and it starts to misshape that false lash. With some of the lash bands that are a little bit sturdier, you can kind of pull them off with your finger, but just be careful and pay attention and kind of respect how the lash is glued onto the tray. You want to keep the band intact, you want to keep the bond of the false lash intact. This just makes things easier when you go to apply it on your client's eye. If you are somebody that is new to working with luxury lashes, whether they're mink or silk, you will notice that the band is a little bit thicker and can be more stiff than working with the bands of the Ardell lashes or the Kiss lashes, and this can make things a little bit more challenging for you. You may run into the problem of applying your lash and it might curl up and straighten out, or you may find that you need your lash band to conform a little bit more to your client's eye shape. Maybe they have a rounder eye shape, maybe they have a flatter eye and you need the band to straighten out a little bit. Something that has really helped me with this, I'll take the lash in between my finger and my thumb, and I'll use my thumbnail to break down the band before I apply it. So what this does is just makes the band a little bit easier to use. It becomes a little bit more flexible and pliable, and then you can shape it more easily to your client's eye. So if you break down the band just a tiny bit, apply the glue, give it a couple seconds or a minute or so to get tacky. Once you get that into your client's lash line, the shape will be a little less rigid and you can easily push it into their natural lash line, and your application will be a little bit easier. So try that trick if you're working with a lash that has a bit of a thicker band. One of the last things I want to share with you that is really helpful for me, and you saw me do this in last week's video with my mom, when I do apply lashes, whether they're a strip lash or an individual lash, I always have my clients keep their eye open and look down. I'll pull up their eyelid just a tiny bit, and this just gives me some nice space to apply that lash. If you are someone that is struggling with applying that strip lash, if the lash isn't sticking properly, double check and make sure that your glue is tacky, or apply a little bit more glue and give it a couple extra seconds to get tacky so that you can easily slot in that lash. If you find you just can't glue the strip lash on, maybe you have a hooded eyelid, maybe you have somebody that has eyelids that are a little bit wrinkly and you just can't get in there with a strip lash, go back to your individual lashes, lift their eyelid up, have them look down, and pop in those little single lashes. It's a much easier way of doing those things. It's a much easier way of applying lashes. So experiment. confident. Don't get too flustered and stressed out. Review all of the tips that I've talked to you about in this video. And if you have a selection of lashes, regardless of who your client is, you will always have something that you can apply, and you'll never be stuck with a client that you can't find a lash for. Those are all my tips and tricks, and those are all the types of lashes that I like to carry in my kit. I'm hoping that to all of you who are struggling with lash application, that this video is helpful and help to alleviate some of your stress. I know it can be really stressful, especially when you're first starting out, to apply lashes on your clients. But if you have a good variety of lashes, if you have the individuals, the trios, the strip lash, you will have a lash for anybody. It's so important to let that glue get tacky. If the glue is too wet, the lash is gonna slip and slide all over the place. So let your glue get tacky, be patient, and don't rush that part of the lash application. That's it for this video. I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. If you have any more questions or you would like to see any other videos about lash application and false lashes, you can put them in the comments below. Thank you again for watching, and I will see everybody next week. Bye!